happy but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
Okay. Hello, testing. All right. Salut tout le monde.
Oui, salut tout le
bienvenue.
monde.
OK, go.
Mais ce soir, c'est toujours l'après-midi. On a Sugar Mommies contre Tetraphobia. Sugar Mommies from Montreal and Tetraphobia from west of Toronto.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So basically, to orient the viewers today, this is a crossover match to get into the top 8 right now. So we have two great teams squaring off. We have Tetraphobia in dark. They are basically Hamilton, Kitchener, Waterloo, London, basically west of Toronto, and they came 7th at C4UC, but because Ontario got an extra bid, they're welcome here and they've made the most of it.
But
Coming
clearly.
here, winning a game and getting into the crossover.
Great.
And what about Sugar Mommies? Where are they coming from?
Sugar Mommies, c'est une équipe de Montréal. C'est une équipe de 4-4 de longue date. Et aujourd'hui, c'est une seule personne. Il y a une personne qui est en manque, c'est Julie Tremblay, qui est comme la matante. C'est la personne la plus responsable, pas la responsable de façon responsable, mais the person who's brought the team together was Julie Tremblay. She's missing today. I think she's coaching. She coaches basketball. So we've got a good core of the Sugar Mommies team. They've played in the C4UC circuit for the last few years, always in the top 8, always competitive, and able to move the disc really well amongst themselves. You'll see in this game that there's very little hesitation.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great team. Both teams trying to get into that quarterfinal spot tomorrow. And now we will resume commentary about the game. So coming out here, you have two contrasting styles. You have, that smooth chemistry-based 4-on-4 from the Quebec series that they built over years and years playing together. And in Ontario, you still have Tetraphobia, who's played together quite some time, but just a little different style. It's more closer to sevens, more that let's isolate someone in a lane like you saw Tetraphobia initiate with. Any other thoughts before the game?
Not so much right now. I'm curious to see how they play defense, both teams. Sugar Mommies has a tendency to do a lot of sharing.
All right, let's see it. So, getting into the action, we have Thomas to Reed. Oh, flying bid there. And a great score with Baldassar scoring for Tetraphobia.
Very nice.
Tying it up.
There's a great bid by Danny Cote. You can expect to see quite a few of those. Danny is one of these guys who's a grinder. He will run, and he'll lay out. It's like he never tires.
Gotta love those players.
Oh,
Always so much defensive pressure. All right, now let's see. Sugar Mommy starting out with a box here.
Julie Blais avec the disc. And Francis Martel back to Julie Blais, to Suzanne Waverock. And just an unfortunate, I think that just came out of his hand in an unexpected way. But the cut was there, the timing was there.
Yeah, great pressure there from Mainwood. Now swinging it over to Baldassar. Baldassar trying to direct traffic here. McKee with the disc now. Looking for Robinson. Back to Baldassar. Oh, puck look. Great grab by Robinson there. Putting Tetraphobia up, and that's a break, I believe.
I think it is a break. And incredible athletic play on both defense and offense on that last catch in the end zone.
All right, now let's see how Sugar Mommies responds there. I think the benefit to playing in the Quebec series, you just have so many different offensive looks, right?
Yeah.
Like, talk to me about some of your favorites.
So what they're doing right here is what we call a classic split stack. So Ayat with the disc over to Pepe Maé. Oh, an unfortunate drop by Ayat. It's classic. Look for my throw before I catch the disc.
Yes, and look at, beautiful throw there by Balzerson to McNeil. Two Masters players just showing off the experience with the touch.
That was just like that precision sort of bladey throw. We tend to call that a caribou in Quebec.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. But
like the animal?
Yeah, don't know why.
It's a good animal.
So Wave Rock with the disc in what we'd call a carré, une boîte. Et c'est juste un peu de un manque de communication.
So Reed here picking up the disc. And great isolation cut for Muntz there to score. Tetraphobia on a little bit of a run here to start the game.
I know. I think il me semble que Sugar Mommies, maintenant, c'est rentré dans leur tête. Ils pensent un peu trop fort ou juste jouent pour le vrai. Et tu fais le cut, tu amènes le cut. La dernière fois, c'est un peu lente pour commencer leur cut. Deux personnes. Nice look. C'est Arsenault, encore à Ayat, mais un pic sur le terrain.
Pick sending it back basically because that might have had an effect on the play and where players are, so they just decide to send it back where everyone can agree.
Ayat, Ferger à Arsenault. Et encore une fois, juste un peu trop loin. C'est une bonne idée. C'est juste un peu trop loin le lancer pour le quand tu fais le cut upline comme ça, c'est pas toujours facile à voir c'est où ça va rentrer.
And for a team like Sugar Mommies, who has so much chemistry playing together, what do you think is the cause for some of these miscues to start the game?
I think they're trying too hard sometimes. Like I think it was forcing some of those throws just a little bit too much, and I think the ideas might be there, but because they're trying to do it quickly, I think the defense is pretty tight. They're just missing that precision.
All right, so we can see if Arsenault can help steady the ship here for Sugar Mommies.
Back to
just to get a point on the board, right?
Yep.
Looking back to Arsenault here. Over to Hamlet.
To Ayat.
Then that's exactly what they were looking for, that chemistry, Ayat to Arsenault.
These two seem to have good chemistry together. And he's pretty tall, so that helps. But they, again, as I was saying to Etienne earlier, sometimes in Ultimate you think like that scuba or over the top of everybody, that's a dangerous pass, not in 4-on-4. It's sometimes exactly the right pass because it's into space.
Yeah, great point there. Not in 4-on-4, not indoors where there's no wind to affect it, right? So getting back to the play now, you have Balderson with a little turnover. Sugar Mommy's taking advantage, moving very quickly right now. Cote back to Winfred and Wave Rock.
Winfred. Yep, that's Wave Rock, Suzanne Wave Rock. I think Winifred's somebody's grandmother's name that they
Okay.
chose for some.
Wave Rock to Pepe there for the score. And that's a break for Sugar Mommies, and now
It
it's
is.
only a 1-point game.
It was a beautiful defense and well read by Julie Blais coming for the run through D.
All right, Reed picking up the disc for Tetraphobia. A fear of fours is what the name stands for, so a little fun.
Oh,
Beau plongé.
nicely said in French.
You just say. All right, now Tetraphobia working it backfield now. Oh my goodness! You know what, TJ Reed, that was gross. I don't care about the age. I don't care about the Masters mixed status Team Canada. That guy can play ball right here.
That was a great layout. That, when you're laying out chest high, pretty impressive. And to bounce right back up.
All right, so it seems like Sugar Mommies is really trusting Wave Rock here to pick up the disc and start.
Yeah.
Where is she coming from? Where's a lot of her experience been?
She's had a lot of experience playing everywhere. She's one of these players who is happy to pick up with teams anywhere around the world. So she's in Montreal. She's played a lot with Vintage. She's in the past, and she's traveled around. She's played with teams out in Europe. She's plays with Boston teams coming in in USAU tournaments.
Okay, and that was her teammate Blaze just getting so free in the end zone. So he's just a
That's
simple
a nice German.
high-release play.
Yeah.
Now on the other side, we have Balderson picking up the disc, a nice steady handler for this Tetraphobia side. A lot of experience coming with Union and Crash out of the KW region. So a traveled player, just in Toronto and west of Toronto. So we have this contested out call.
Yeah.
It looks like a yacht is calling McNeil out of bounds, and McNeil just having that discussion.
It's an important discussion to have because obviously when you're catching the disc, you're not necessarily the person with the best perspective, but this might be a good time to check with people who are standing on the line because
And it looks it looks like that's what happened. So Baldassar back to McNeil. McNeil trying to direct traffic. Baldassar, great bid there. So much pressure coming from the Sugar Mommy side. Back to Muntz. See Tetraphobia just really taking their time with these 4-on-4 throws, not getting too high in the stall count.
And that was great defense, specifically Maillet on Baldassar here. That he cut that cut. Baldassar made 2 cuts coming in, and both times Maillet was so on him that it was really tight throw to make.
Yeah.
Baldassar. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. Dan will forgive you.
I hope so.
All right, so we have Pepe initiating the disc for Sugar Mommies.
To Ayat. Back to Maillet. To Ayat.
You can just see the give and goes on Sugar Mommies very trusted. You can tell that they've played with each other. They trust each other.
They do. And Emelin is going to keep the disc here because it was a pick, but it didn't affect the play. Oh.
All right. Rose, put on your coaching hat here. What are your thoughts on push passes like that?
Don't do it. I don't think that's one of those ones where you tell him afterwards, because just by the look on his face, as a coach, I'd be like, you don't need me to say anything.
Exactly. We'll have to get his teammates to, give him a stern talking to about that after. All right. So back to Baldassar. Baldassar with the hammer to McNeil. Easy score there after the fatal push pass from Sugar Mommies.
Oh, that's sad. That hurts. So Sugar Mommies needs to just be a little bit more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're moving the disc well. Their cuts are moving well. But then there's just like now and then a couple of errors thought.
Yeah, so now you see Sugar Mommies coming out of a vertical stack there. How do you like that switch up of the offensive look?
I think it's great.
Any advantages to starting like that instead of like, the box that they've been playing?
I think it's just a different way to see the space on the field. The box, a couple of times they've clogged a bit. So I think it's actually a smart choice to shift their offensive look, and clearly it worked for them.
Yeah, and you saw that simple wave rock to Cote score there.
Yeah.
Close game. Exactly what you want as a viewer in a crossover match at the end of Saturday. Both teams fighting to make it into the quarterfinals again. This is that game to make it into the top 8.
So much fun to watch.
So Reed going for the crossfield hammer, just picked off by Pepe.
Ça c'est Ferjevic.
Oh my goodness. So we have Forger with the
I think there's a
leading
discussion.
pass. Did Pepe Mai toe it in?
I think that's the discussion. I think the defender on him was saying yes, he towed it in, but somebody watching it on the side said perhaps no.
I'm a big fan of big plays, and big plays like that deserve to be called in, like they said on the field. So great grab there.
I actually really think he towed his feet in. I think it's the right call, even though I might not have best perspective. I'm pretty sure I saw his feet in.
And we also have photographer Sophie out here. She probably got a picture of it, hopefully, and she'll be able to tell you whether it was in or out.
So what are you seeing with Tetraphobic's offensive looks?
Tetraphobia is, playing a lot of that big ball ultimate, we like to call it in Ontario. They're really isolating somebody in a lane, hoping to have that initiate and drive it. You see Robinson here with the disc. And, a little space out. They're working that open under space, trying to get to the break side. And then that's McKee just unable to focus on looking at the line and catching the hammer at the same time, right?
Yeah, but that was still a smart look. That is a mismatch in terms of height. Not a bad choice.
So this is Martel with the disc over to Wave Rock.
Yep.
Wave Rock now to Trusty Ayat. And Martel, the long give and go, just not in yet. This Ayat and Robinson matchup is very exciting.
I think that might be a pick. What do you think?
I think a pick was called, but unfortunately, Ayat didn't notice, threw it to Martel when he wasn't ready, and then the turnover happened.
No. I didn't see the turnover. I turned to look at you.
Yeah, so tell me, why is that a turnover after the pick was called? I'm sorry, hold your thought there.
I'm going to.
Owen Robinson with a gross guy. We just talked about how McKee had a lot of trouble looking at the line and making the hammer catch. Robinson looked at the line, made the catch over a defender. 3 difficult things to do in one. Oh, my goodness.
That was impressive. It's like he hung there just in time to look down and figure out where to put his foot down.
Yes, big plays needed to, break that tie. We have now Wita set.
So that Danny Cote with the disc. Very physical, but not foul-y.
That is
that was Arsenault to Forger. That was a nice look, and it was just, she was all alone down there. Like, one of the things I liked about that was that other players didn't rush into the end zone to try and take that space. They left her alone there. She had the space, she had the concentration, and it was a nice throw over.
And earlier on the stream, when we were watching some of the juniors played, we were talking about some of the differences between juniors to adults, and that's one of the differences, spacing, knowing when you can time these cuts, knowing when to shoot the disc to just kind of let the play settle and let your teammates do what they want to do.
Yeah, and sometimes, and to remember it's a team sport. Like, sometimes your cut is to create space rather than to go in to get it. I don't know what the call was, but
seems like they've got it figured out. We have Mai with the disc on the far side.
Over to Martel.
And that's Martel beating Thomas up the line.
Martel is a very athletic player. He's little, but he doesn't play little. He has a lot of like incredible acceleration.
And it's accelerations like that that have helped Sugar Mommies now take their first lead of the game, I believe.
So here, again, an isolation play.
Isolation side stack. You see Sugar Mommies really sharing, and that leaves Mainwood so free. So now we have Tam. Robinson and Tam working well together here in the backfield, just giving and going between themselves.
Again, as you said, the share always leaves somebody open, and if you're
Yeah.
smart enough to use it.
And I love the way Sugar Mommies wasn't panicking. You see how someone's helping out off the back, always taking away something in the end zone. They are leaving someone open, but they're content to let Tetraphobia play around with it, and
Yeah.
they're getting bids like that, like Cote tried there.
They're playing smart, both teams right now. The patience as well as a trust in defense.
And it might just be this is the team's fourth game of the day.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
Yes, they are 4-on-4 games and a lot shorter than your typical sevens game that might be 80 minutes, but it's a lot of running.
It really is, and the changing of direction on the turf inside and a small field, it can take a huge toll on the joints. It's not just on the muscles, the joint, your lower back, everything starts to hurt by this point.
Oh, and just a miscommunication between Tam and Robinson. Looks like Cote is going to pick up the disc, and you can see Wave Rock telling him, you know what, I think it's time for a timeout.
It's been a long point already. This is the second or third turnover in this point?
Yeah.
But he's not going to listen.
He's not going to listen. So we have Arsenault on the far side.
Over to
Hamlin.
Hamlin.
Oh, and maybe that's why you don't take the timeout.
You know what? Perhaps not. And to be perfectly honest, someone like Danny Cote, he could play the entire game by himself. He's just one of these energizer bunnies. Just keeps going and going. I want to ask you something about Tetraphobia. I've noticed one of the things they do, they're not at all scared to put the disc to dump it far from the end zone.
Yeah.
And take their time to work it up again. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. And you see, like, we noted their discipline earlier, and they understand the beauty of isolating one person in the end zone. So allowing them to power dump it like that so far back, it lets them
on the foot.
set
on
up
the
those
foot.
isolations. And yes, that is
That's Ayot who just took out
Balzerson.
Yeah.
But Balzerson, okay, taking a couple touchy steps.
I think that's an unfortunate landing on the foot.
So yeah, you see Tetraphobia just cycling. Oh my goodness.
That was
And Ayat
baited
getting
that.
in there for the D, yeah.
He baited that D. Again, trusting on some acceleration and some ups.
So we have the Ayat to Pepe Mai connection there, putting Sugar Mommies up by 3 now. So slowly they chipped away at the lead, and Tetraphobia just some misexecution errors. Like, what have you been seeing that has allowed for Sugar Mommies to swing the?
Honestly, defense.
Yeah.
I think it's defense. I think a couple of them were putting incredible pressure on the cutters, not so much on the handlers, but a lot on the cutters.
And a hand block there, but uncontested foul. So it's going back to Thomas. But as you were saying,
I was just saying, I think that they're putting a lot of pressure on the cutters. So, like, they're willing to let that super dump go, but they're stopping that upfield movement. The Sugar Mommies are trying to. And some ups help.
Yep. And like you said, the pressure of the defense on the cutters there, like, Reed wasn't that free, and they still had to put that disc up.
Yeah.
All right, Arsenault back on the attack for them with Martel going back and forth. Now getting Forget involved. And you could see there Thomas poaching off to help Reed's defense. And that is halftime. So halftime we have Sugar Mommies 11 in light / beige, whatever you call this little reversible moment.
Whatever it is, but it's not
and
pretty.
And then Tetraphobia and Dark at 8.
So what do you think so far?
Oh my gosh, great game. I'm glad we are giving you the extra stream here for free. But yeah, great game. Any highlights for you so far?
Mais pour moi, les highlights sont plutôt faire la Sugar Mommy, mais ça se peut que je suis un peu biaisée parce que c'est une équipe que je connais un peu mieux, beaucoup mieux que l'autre équipe. Mais je suis vraiment impressionnée par la défense, surtout les défenses dans l'air. On voit des hommes en Sugar Mommy qui c'est pas si grand que quelques gars dans Tetraphobia, mais ils sont capables de sauter, mettre la pression. Et s'ils touchent le disque pour knock it out of the air ou s'ils mettent la pression, it's causing turnovers.
Mhm.
How about you?
Yeah, I've only seen Sugar Mommies a couple times in that FQ circuit, but you just see the maturity and the discipline from them.
Yeah.
Like they started out overthrowing, having some miscommunication, and they really like reeled it in. And I think that's what you get from years of playing together. Now on the other side, Tetraphobia, they had a hot start. They were up 5-2. They were hitting their shots. You saw people making the big crowd, but like you said, a couple miscommunications and then not being able to apply the same defensive pressure that Sugar Mommies has been going. So I think to make that turnaround this half, they're going to have to up the defensive pressure after they make those turnovers, because turnovers are inevitable when you're taking shots at this high level of ultimate, but you have to be able to get these back.
At the same time, I'd like to see them continue doing some of what they're doing well, which is controlling the disc, patience, not forcing the throws. It's when they force a throw or when their stall count's getting high that the turnovers are happening.
Yes, and they get a chance to do just what you said, starting out on offense here.
And the disc rolls out of bounds.
All right, so Robinson to Tam to start us off. We also have McKee and Walker on the field too. And again, great spacing there.
Absolutely.
To start. Oh, and great use of the 7 cut there by Walker. Robinson just seeing her go to one corner, slash across. Great start to the half.
What I really liked there was their 2 cutters were going in the same place, and instead of panicking, one of them continued that cut while the other one came back for the 7, leaving that option wide, like the option to the far side completely wide open.
Yes, and you have Waverock picking up here for Sugar Mommies, starting in this box formation again, usually starting with that up line by Blais. So Blais getting the disc back, working with Ayat to
Nice
Waverock.
grab.
Oh, a nice low grab there, having to reach back. She's a taller figure, so definitely not easy.
Back to Blais, who's looking for something. Not a lot happening upfield right now. Take your dump. Look at you. Or your hammer. One or the other. And we'll just do 2 hammers in a row.
Yep. Using the height of Waverock, forcing her to go down low and up high to make those grabs, and then her calmly putting it to Ayat in the end zone.
Well, I love what just happened with the hammer because it's so fun to watch. It's exciting. I would have really liked to see Blais take the open dump back there. And it's such a typical thing for all of us when we're playing Ultimate to get caught up with looking like tunnel vision in front of us. This is what I want. This is what I want. Oh my gosh, there's somebody I'm forgetting.
Yeah, and Tetraphobia is starting out with a flood play there with everyone within the end zone. And so much pressure there from Cote on Thomas. Reed getting free there in the end zone. And nice just dishing it to Mainwood.
Yeah.
All holds to start the second half.
I know. Both teams seem to want this. This was an example of what I just saw with Maye, with that intensity on D. And if Tetraphobia is smart about it, it's like these guys are bidding everywhere. But when they bid and you still get the disc, that means you're wide open for a couple seconds. And that's exactly what happened right there, is that it was Maye who made a great bid for the D, but because he didn't get it.
And I know you
did not see it.
You just missed the Callahan from Walker, and now I think you have Blais calling a foul there.
And I really can't comment because I didn't see it. What do you think?
I can't commentate. It looked like Walker had position, and Blais had to go through her to try to get that position back. So I think it's one of those ones where, yes, Blais felt some contact, but it seemed like it was initiated I think it would be pretty upsetting if this disc goes back to Wave Rock on a contest.
It's so hard when you're right in the middle of it.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know about you, but when you feel contact, it's very like oftentimes our first reaction is, but I could have had it if there wasn't contact. But at the same time, did I create the contact or did the other person create the contact? It's hard to say when you're in that moment.
It is hard to say. So it looks like that Callahan is being robbed from Walker, and
It looks like it.
and we are okay. So the disc coming, it's strip called or foul called, contested. We're coming in on stall 6. Great use of the hand signals. All right, back to Wave Rock with the disc. We'll see what she does on a high stall count.
She scores.
And shooting it to Blay. Yeah. Walker's not happy about that.
No, and
honestly,
she's
I
walking.
feel her.
Yeah, walking away with your hands on the head in frustration, and I don't think it's malintentioned by either player, but it can still be very frustrating when you know you had it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like any good team, you have to get back your head into the game, and now
Exactly.
we have Balderson picking up for Tetraphobia.
I love the amount of space that Tetraphobia starts with.
Yeah, it just gives
Yeah,
the cutters so much room to work with, and especially on a team where they feel like they have the matchups, right?
yeah,
And like
that.
just Balderson running around my running around my getting the score.
Yep.
Another hold from Tetraphobia.
Yeah,
And-
and that's an option. That's an example of using the space as well as some height. Like a hammer over to Walterson is a smart choice.
And we'll see if Tetraphobia can up the defensive pressure here, down 2 in the second half. Wave Rock again, looking big, looking for a big scooper, and Thomas picking that off, continuing to read. Wave Rock's been so steady.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Wave Rock has been so steady. Unfortunately, had to put up a prayer up, but Tetraphobia gifting it back to them.
Wave Rock has been steady, but one of my things they keep going back to this carré, the square setup, and I'm not convinced it's working for them in terms of initiating first cut.
Yeah. It seems like Tetraphobia is able to key in on that, and you saw the male matching players be sharing there to stop those initiating cuts. All right, back to the play at hand. We have Robinson starting us off for Tetraphobia. They're really gonna have to. Get back into the game after that. Oh,
Nice grab.
great grab by Robinson, going down lower, over to McKee.
Robinson.
Again, they have so much space. You do have players like Baldassar willing to stand so far back from the play to create that space.
Yeah.
But it's still worth it. And now you got to isolate Robinson and easy slash cut to the goal. So we have Tetraphobia still down by 2. We still have this 3-point difference.
Yeah, but this is a close
difference?
game.
What's going to be the difference to make up the points?
I think right now, Tetraphobia, if they keep playing clean and smart, they just need to make 1B, and they're going to be back up. And I think right now, Sugar Mommies, they're getting stuck with their initiation. So Tetraphobia needs to take advantage of that.
All right, Martel starting off with the disc. Mai running around. It's really been Martel and Mai to start off this point.
To Marta.
Yeah, the two players
And a pick.
Two players just ready to work back and forth. Balderson saying, hey, I wouldn't have been able to get there anyway, so you can keep the disc there.
Nice spirit.
And a lot of defensive pressure there from Tam. We have a foul call.
No, I think it's a strip call, actually.
A strip or foul call from Blay. Tam taking her time to think.
Hard to say.
Yeah, this is a great part of it, ultimate, like self-officiated sport.
Yeah. And I was looking right at it, and I couldn't tell you. Neither could they. So back to thrower. I like the call.
Thrower. I like the level-headedness of it, not letting the height of the moment get to them. But again, it's that defensive pressure from it's that defensive pressure from Tetraphobia, like that's going to keep getting them turns and like let them capitalize. But again, Sugar Mommy's
Yeah.
just so disciplined, able to punch in that score.
They're disciplined,
So
but
right
they're
now.
getting caught throwing at high stall counts.
They are.
So that's saying a lot about the defense of Tetraphobia. And I think Sugar Mommies could do better about creating more space with their cuts. They're getting jammed in, and Tetraphobia is paying attention.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part about defensive pressure. It just builds over the game. So now it's like Sugar Mommies has to get used to throwing at these high stall counts. And that's when mistakes can happen, like, those tight Ds from Tam. And again, an easy
Beautiful.
0 point for Tetraphobia. Thomas over to...
So that Tetraphobia right there just did a great job of using the full width, la largeur de terrain, that instead of trying to force it up line, because there was somebody cutting up there. They could have tried to force it. But instead of that,
reverse
fake
the
it,
field.
back around, and then that was an easy score.
Yeah, and that was Thomas to Muntz there for Tetraphobia. Look at this defensive pressure,
Yeah.
Not many options, and we're higher up in the stall count. Now they're at the back of the end zone. Working it out smoothly.
The swing.
Arsenault to Blé.
Back to Arsenault. Oh, juggle.
Wave rock, giving them
To
a release
Blé.
valve. And McKee just caught, looking at the disc, getting beat to the front cone there.
That was simple power. Both guys were just powering for it. And nice patience and precision with that throw into the end zone.
Yeah, and like we chatted about earlier, it's that continued defensive pressure. They were in a couple of high stall count situations. I do think Tetraphobia, unfortunately, isn't being rewarded right now, but it's pressure like that that's going to hopefully come later on in the game. Foul, quick no contest there.
I think, in fact, she was saying sorry as they were hitting the ground.
Yeah. Tough OI flick there from Walker. Not too many options. Sugar Mommy's on the quick attack here. We have Ayat back there with the
Hamelin.
Hamelin.
Back to Forger, to Ayat.
And a timeout.
And a timeout. Smart timeout, actually, because I don't think there wasn't anything actually happening right there. Everybody was maybe a dump pass. I don't know.
Yes, and this is a chance for a break for Sugar Mommy's, and it's their first chance in a while because Tetraphobia has been playing some clean offense there, so it makes sense to take a second to think about it.
Since half, it's been very tight. I think both teams are playing well. Neither one wants to give up anything. If anything, I think Sugar Mommies is having trouble getting their first cut, but they're able to rely on some experience and just trust in each other that, okay, even if it's high stall count, we're going to get somebody open eventually. I think Tetraphobia and their use of space is incredible. What about you?
I'm in agreement. Do you have any fun facts about Sugar Mommies playing against this team?
Mommies,
anything you want the people to know about?
What do I want to know? Okay, so we've got Marie-Lou Forger, who is...
They can't see where you're pointing.
Marie-Lou Forger is she's on the field, set up dump.
Nike shorts, yeah.
With the disc right now. Her partner is one of the guys who's laying out all over the place,
We
Danny
love a
Cote.
married couple out here
We
playing
do.
together.
But they rarely play on the same line.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, if that's on purpose, but...
You know what? Whatever makes the marriage last out here.
Fair enough.
Do you think you could play with your partner?
I play with my partner a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green flag?
It's sometimes fun, sometimes less fun.
Back to the action here. We have Tetraphobia trying to get the disc back, trying not to give up this break late in the game. Oh.
That was a lot of contact. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
It looks like a foul is being called. I think she's trying to make the case it might be a strip.
I don't know, or
I don't think it'll be very contested.
I don't think it would be contested, but did the foul happen after they were both out of bounds?
Oh. We are seeing foul called no contest from Balderson. So I think Balderson's... Oh, okay.
Oh,
looks
contest.
Like foul called and contest. That's between Walker and
Forger.
Forger.
Yeah.
Coming in on stall 4.
Back to Ayat.
Still a very spirited discussion.
Yeah. To Hamelin. To Ferger.
And you can see a bit of the panic in Sugar Mommies now, making still clean and calm throws, but there's a bit of a frantic energy now with some of their cuts and some of their quick releases.
Yeah. Ooh. And out. On the line. It was a good look, but out.
And the very defeated spike there by Ayat.
Yeah, a little bit.
And Walker just applying some relief there for Balderson so he didn't have to get into one of those high foul counts. Tam wide open for Tetraphobia. Over to McNeil. You can tell how a little tired they are.
It's another one of these long points. It takes a lot out of you.
Especially in this 4-on-4 format. We'll see what Tetraphobia can get done.
Good defense.
And now you see Sugar Mommies in there sharing, with someone pushing off. But still, like you said, using the height, Balderson, high release scooper, no one's getting that other than McNeil.
No, especially not. They've got Hamelin standing there who's well positioned, but she's not going to get that D.
All right, very good now. I am not sure if they're in their regular lines, but seeing Robinson back on the field, and he's been he had a few huge grabs at the start, so let's see if he can start sparking the defense here for Tetraphobia.
This is a good matchup right here. Are they both 44? No.
No, Robinson is listed at
27.
At 27, so very far away from each other.
But it's a nice matchup, these two.
Oh. And you had Muntz there trying very hard, but Wave Rock just read it really well.
Yeah, I think Wave Rock couldn't do anything. Go in with her, and she's not going to get it. Wait for it and take a chance that the Deve's not going to happen. You've got a chance.
Yeah, so Tetraphobia throwing everything they can at this Sugar Mommies team. They're going to need a quick offense point and transition quickly to defense. And Sid there just getting a little stuck.
A little tight. This is one of those things. Oh, that was a high stall count.
Makita Mainwood now. You still have Walker, working in the lanes here. They're still isolating people, but I think you can just see a little bit of the exhaustion. But, that's what you get for being organized and disciplined. An easy throw there from Robinson to Mainwood.
Yeah. It was, and I thought when they, at the beginning of this point, I thought Sugar Mommies had them stuck. And there was just one opening, and they got it.
All right. Our trusty handler, Wave Rock, again, starting off with the disc,
with the fancy headband.
Yeah. All right. Play far side to Wave Rock.
Beautiful.
Wave Rock seems to be doing it all right now. She's starting with the disc, and she's scoring some goals.
Yeah. Wave Rock she's a solid player. She's always smiling. She's one of these, her height makes a difference. She's also a never give up kind of player, never give up kind of person. She's coming back from breast cancer and had all last year played throughout, going through chemo and radiation, and sort of a role model for a lot of people.
And Tetraphobia starting with this interesting play as well, with everybody starting in the end zone. Trust ball to McNeil. Thomas overshoots him just a bit. And what do you think about Tetraphobia rushing these looks now, trying to
that one they
quickly?
Didn't need to do, despite the fact that it was a good look in terms of height and all that. The throw was just a little bit forced. What about you?
Yeah, Sugar Mommy's getting lucky there off the miscue. Now it's a one-on-one in the end zone. Ayat. And great defense there by Thomas, forcing him back out of the end zone. But you can see the intensity ratcheting up.
Yeah.
And it looks like Sugar Mommies has the gas in the tank to keep running.
It's almost like they've got more heart right now. Like both teams are tired, but it's almost like the Sugar Mommies is ready to grind it out.
Yeah, and it's noting, I think, Tetraphobia having 6 male matching players and 5 female matching players. Sugar Mommy's only having 5 and 4.
Yeah.
So they're down a person each.
But they're being smart about some of these switches.
And Robinson recognizing Walker was the only one
Yeah.
coach there, but just not executing that flip there. And Sugar Mommy's going straight in the other direction, and we have Martel to Blay there punishing that turnover.
Yeah. It was a nice catch, too, like with two defense coming in on her, reading it, getting it over her head. But as you say, I think that was an example of just a quick turnover and punish.
Yeah, and I think you see Tetraphobia about 5 minutes left in this game, a little worried
Yes.
about the time and trying to push, but not executing in the way that they want to. Oh my goodness.
That's nice.
Balzerson changing direction, getting back. There is that sense of urgency. And putting it back up to Balzerson. He
Yes.
did start picking up the disc, but he was the receiver that ended the play.
Yeah, I don't know how he powered through and got that disc. It looked for sure Arsenault was going to get it. But, sometimes heart, as we just said, heart.
Power of a dad.
Yeah, power of a dad.
I don't have any kids right now. Hopefully not anytime soon. But I believe you get an extra gear as a parent, right? Oh, right.
Nice
little
throw.
round shot to Martel there. Sugar Mommy, they are still playing with pace right now. They're not content to just wait it out. You just saw.
In fact, that was one of their prettiest points that I've seen in terms of not getting stuck in each other's cuts.
Yeah.
Like that was nice. I think it started with Cote's break, a really nice low break to the center. It opened up the space that Sugar Mommies hasn't been doing as well as they could.
And I think now that Sugar Mommies is recognizing Tetraphobia being tired, they're attacking these matchups in a way that they weren't before.
Yeah.
But still, Thomas, Walker, McKee, and Muntz working together, trying to get this hold, trying to get another point on for Tetraphobia. Thomas working hard in the lane there. Huge layup attempted by Mai, showing that he has no give up.
But that was great spirit, too, the two of them really battling it out. A foul call, touch on the hand, and immediately no contest back in.
And after the false start, just working around. You have McKee big up to trying to shoot for Walker, but
that's a nice D by Farger and a nice read. I think the timing was just a little off with the time of the throw, the time of the cut, because it landed behind them.
Yeah. And Ayak starting off, where Sugar Mommy's trying to punch in yet another break here late in the second half.
Over to Hamelin. Hamelin is the player that doesn't usually play with Sugar Mommies, and she's really found her place. She's been playing great.
Yeah, just putting it up to Mai there at the end. Looks like you said, they have a lot of players with a big motor, and it looks like they're not giving up.
Yeah.
They're trying to win by even more.
Yeah, but Tetraphobia is not giving up either. I haven't seen this. Have you seen this starting?
They've done this. They've done this a couple of times where everyone starts in the end zone, and you kind of have all three people run straight to the other end zone, but two come under. So you do get one isolation shot. Sometimes you get no one going with that person, so it's a free deep shot. But yeah, it's just another way to initiate. And again, Balderson being put in a tough position there with the huge mark of Arsenault, forcing another turnover, and Sugar Mommy's wasting absolutely no time there. Unfortunate bounce for Blay there at the front zone.
Right on the line, trying to keep your feet in, bounces off your hand, and now you have to go play D.
And that is Reed finding Balserson off of the miscue. It looks like no one had a mark, but no one was also guarding Balserson. So
it looked like he ran in from the sideline. I know he didn't, but it seemed like he came in from nowhere.
All right, so
Tetraphobia
finally back in the scoring column, and now Sugar Mommy's back on O with Ayat.
Back
over to Forge, finding her chemistry with the team. Mai grinding in the lanes.
Back to Ayat. Over to Forger. And back to Hamelin. Over to Ayat. I like that look to take the easy dump instead of trying to force.
Yeah, and it looks like Sugar Mommy's recognizing the time. They're really comfortable to just work it in.
Yep.
They don't have the same sense of urgency. But
don't need to rush this disc.
Yeah. And you see one Sugar Mommy's player just waiting in the end zone there.
Yep.
Very content to keep their spacing. And like they said, just punching it in there.
Yep.
So that means with 23-17, Sugar Mommy's defeating Tetraphobia, the 5th seed coming out of Ontario. I believe Sugar Mommy's the 3rd seed out of Quebec, I think.
So. Second or third. Must be third.
Quarterfinals, and I think on the far side you saw another team in Black Pearl advancing. So 2 Quebec teams moving on from the crossover round.
Yeah, and we've already got Ninjax who won the pool from which Sugar Mommies came.
Yep.
So there's at least 3 teams in. From Quebec. I don't know what the results are elsewhere yet.
On the Ontario side, I believe Davy Sitters won their pool. Donnie Parton also won their pool.
How about Yum?
Yum won their pool. So that
How many pools did we have?
We have 4. That makes sense if Ninjax. These are all unofficial, alleged results. People.
We're just making it up as we go along.
You're just going to have to check the Google Sheets if you want the real facts. But to close out our thoughts on this game, what do you think?
It was a fun game to watch. I think that it started a lot more even than it finished. And honestly, both teams were evenly matched. I think what happened was that Sugar Mommies were ready to grind a little bit more. And hard D. How about you?
Yeah, I think you saw that definitely toward the end of the game. Tetraphobia just taking a few shots that they weren't rewarded for, and Sugar Mommies was there to capitalize on those mistakes. Like you said, with that grind, with that heart. Tetraphobia is not going to be happy with this, being regulated to the bottom 8 half of the bracket, but I think they can still be really proud of it. They originally came 7th at C4UC, so they didn't qualify originally, and then Ontario got an extra bid. They took the bid, and they really fought every chance to get into that top 8, and they were so close, which shows not only the depth coming out of their province, but the parity in this tournament. Like, a lot of these teams are close. Like, if you play this game 10 times, I don't think Tetraphobia loses all 10 of those times.
Totally agree. I totally agree. It's like, I know Sugar Mommies came out on top, and this time I'm not convinced they would every time, as you say.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time seeing this team as coming out 7th. They don't look like a 7th place team.
No, not at all. And special shout out, obviously Tetraphobia, great time, great team. A lot of them play Crash, but special shout out to Chris McKee. He actually captained in my first year playing at the University of Waterloo. So he was a PhD student. I was just a first year, and Chris is a very nice leader, very good pillar of that KW community. And good luck to Tetraphobia on Sunday, and good luck to Sugar Mommies in the bracket. Any closing thoughts from you?
No, that's it. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yes, we will be back tomorrow at some time, maybe 8:30, maybe 9:30. I don't know. It's all alleged. Good night, fans, and